I feel like we hear this daily now. AI's changing the game. We hear it everywhere. We all know this. But how do we actually use it, and how do we, move past all the noise, right? Welcome to Small Business Automated, where I basically just cut through noise and try to show you guys how to stay ahead of this rapidly changing world and how to incorporate AI into your small business workflow. Welcome to Small Business Automated. My name is Doran Crutcher. Let's jump right in. So I'm pretty sure the latest AI buzzword we hear these days is the term agent. So what makes agent different than, say, just like an LLM or just like ChatGPT by itself? Well, let's go over some definitions and hopefully it makes it a little more clear. So ChatGPT is known as an LLM, a large language model. Basically, at the very core root of it, without getting too deep, it's just supposed to, mimic human conversation. You talk to it, it responds to you, and actually does a pretty good job of trying to predict what your next question or sentence will be. An agent is an LLM with like hands and tools. An agent comprises of 5 different components: an LLM, tools, instructions, knowledge, and memory. So basically, it's ChatGPT that can do things, which is kind of fun. So let's head on over to relevance.ai, and let me show you the Airbnb agent that we're all waiting to see. So welcome to Relevance AI. This is a no-code agent builder, and I think it's a really good one to get introduced into the world of agents. So what's this body of text we have in front of us? Well, this sets the groundwork and the framework for LLM to know, it's to let it know what to do, what not to do, and what tools it has access to. This is actually a really good practice to do with any LLM chat you begin, because it gives the LLM a direction to go with the chat and knows how to act and knows what not to do as it's talking to you. So what are the goals for this particular Airbnb agent? So if we kind of zoom in here, our goals are guest support and to manage the post-checkout workflow. So let's read the guest support line. Answer any questions about the location, amenities, house rules, reservation details using the knowledge base. So this might stand out to you, knowledge base. That is basically a database that it's like an Excel spreadsheet that we like set all the knowledge for this LLM into. Basically, it's going to refer back to that anytime, say, a guest has a question. So if a guest has a question about a lockbox that they want to keep their items in, like how they use lockbox, where is it, right? It's going to look into the knowledge base, see if that answer is there, and then use that knowledge to respond to that guest question. I'll show you what the knowledge base looks like in a minute. So that's basically what a knowledge base is, just a set of knowledge that the agent knows. It's going to maintain a calm, helpful, welcoming tone at all times. It's going to be nice and polite to our guests. And now let's look at the post-checkout workflow, because I think this is pretty cool. So after the guest stay ends, it's going to send a polite message to them reminding them of the checkout time. And once the buffer period has passed, it's going to send a message to the cleaning service to actually schedule the cleaning session for us after the guest leaves. So when a new guest comes, everything is nice and tidy, and we didn't have to lift a finger for that, which is really, really fun. And I'm going to show you how that works in a minute too. And here it says use API to turn off electronics should anything left on. So I think this is actually one of my favorite things. So this uses a tool I found online called IFTTT, called If This Then That. And this little API is, an API is basically just a messenger for your applications. An application will use an API to send a message to a server so it can do things. And what this little API does is that it's going to turn off everything that the guest may have left on, right? So for this particular one, I have it wired up to that fancy light behind me. And once the agent is made aware of a checkout process, it's going to turn everything off. So for the scope and boundaries, basically this in a nutshell is do not make up things, do not make up information it does not know. If it does not know information, it's going to send me, the owner, the question that the guest asked it. And once I reply to that question, it's actually going to take my answer and add it to the knowledge base. So let's just say that, again, that lockbox thing, right? The guest asks, hey, I have some really like important stuff that I want to keep safe in my lockbox, but I don't know how to use this thing. I send it back the starting code, how you set your own code, and where the lockbox is. So it's going to take my answer, put that into the knowledge base, And for any future guests that may have the similar question, it's going to know how to answer it. And it'll never make up knowledge. It's never going to make anything about the house. It's never going to make anything about, well, it's not going to make up anything. It's going to do what it knows. And down here, we have our set of tools. So this is kind of where the magic happens. I think this is really fun. So we have our emailing tools, right? Send email, get email content from Gmail. So this agent actually has access to its own email, your email, like whatever you want. And it's going to read the messages that come into your inbox, and it's going to determine whether or not this is a question about the property. And if it is, it's going to answer that question. I even have it set up so that when a new booking is created, it's going to save all that booking into a guest log and actually have know who your repeat guests are, know who only to answer questions if the guest already exists in that guest log. So it doesn't answer revealing questions about your property. Yeah, it does all sorts of fun things. It has this tool here to actually update its knowledge base. So again, if it learns as it goes. This is the tool I'm using to control my electronics in my house. And this is a Telegram bot. I set this up because say the guest has a question that doesn't know and you're busy, right? You're not always checking your email. Well then, have it send you a text. So why not, right? It has a calendar tool. So it can actually create events. So let's say it has that cleaning service that's scheduled. It'll be blocked off in your calendar for you. It let's just say and it can also manage how long your guest is staying, or any repairs that may happen to the house. It'll just create the event for you. It'll cancel events if the guest cancels or if the cleaning crew has to reschedule, so on and so forth. It's a really, really handy thing. So yeah, this is essentially the starting prompt in a nutshell. So I wanted to show you guys what the knowledge base actually looks like. So like I said, it's just a table. Actually, I don't remember if I said that or not, but in one of my takes, I said it was a table. So we have this whole so what's in this knowledge base, right? This is just an FAQ knowledge base I created. So it has self check-in questions, free street parking questions, answers to what is the Wi-Fi password, which rooms it applies to, and again, which category it is, like check-in, reservation, support, amenities, and anytime it's been updated. I don't know if it's this is important or not, but it was a thing I thought was useful at the time. Yeah, and again, it keeps track of every question you ask. So if oh, and I didn't add a prompt here, right? So yeah, basically what I just printed out prompt is if the guest has a question about the reservation or the house, refer to his knowledge base for the answer, and if not, just forward the question to the owner. Down here we have our triggers. So the only thing that really triggers this particular agent is an email, but we can also have a dedicated phone number. We can have a dedicated bot, but I think the most common thing that this Airbnb agent is going to get is probably an email. Probably not. That's what iterations are for, right? We also have our set of tools here. So we can use the tools that are preloaded into Relevance AI. There's a whole slew of them. These are all community created. Or we can also go through making our own tool. But we have, this thing is so expansive. You're probably going to have a hard time finding things that you're not going to use, to be honest. You can could type in again, Telegram, that appeared. We have IFTTT. Somebody already made a API for that. It's basically an endless list. And again, if a tool does not exist, you can actually create one yourself, which I think is really amazing. So yeah, this can do a lot, and we're gonna make a lot of videos about this. Okay, so let's see if this agent actually works. I created a guest or create an email for Miss Anita Place to Stay. I know I'm so funny. And Miss Anita just booked my room. So we're gonna send this confirmation email to basically myself, and see if the agent actually adds it to the knowledge base. So back in Relevance AI, we can actually see when our agent is working. Okay, I had AI just create as a fake booking conversation from this company called Stay Savvy. So just to make it look kind of real. So they book through Stay Savvy. They have the book. This is the owner's booking confirmation. So we're gonna send it over to Agent AI Buddy and see if the agent actually adds Anita to their guest log. Okay, amazing. It came through. So now if I go over to Relevance AI, we can actually see by going into this Run tab, we have our Build tab here. That's where our prompt was. If you go to Run, we can see where the agent's actually running. If we click on this little thing here, we can actually see the agent's current tasks. Okay, amazing. So here we have our in progress queue. We can see that we have an email from Anita Place to Stay. We can actually see I think the message content here. If we keep going all the way to the right, and yeah, so we're just gonna wait for this to process. Okay, we can see our most recent task here. So this lets us know that's been processed. If I head back over to the knowledge base, let's go to Airbnb. Let's go to the guest database here. I think I've used Anita before, so I'm going to filter out which Anita is which. Okay, amazing. So we have Anita Place to Stay. She's our latest guest. We have her check-in time or checkout time and her check-in status. We can see at the reservation sources from Stay Savvy. We have another one from Airbnb. We can make one. So if you're using I think it's called Vibro. I don't actually know how to pronounce someone's name, but we can actually use that one too if you want to use a different booking service. And it's actually going to reference this guest log to make sure that this guest is actually currently checked in before it answers any questions. So that's a part of my scope of boundaries. So yeah, but it's been added here. And let's go back to Need a Place to Stay's email. Let's go ahead and send an email to Agent AI Buddy. That's why my first one didn't send. I tried sending one earlier. I misspelled the name Gmail apparently. Question. So hello, where's remote for a TV? I can't seem to find it. From Miss Anita Place to Stay. Warm regards. There we go. Very nice. Send that over. Okay, we can see our question came through. So where's remote for the TV? I can't seem to find it. We can actually head back over to Relevance AI. Go back to our agent here. So during Airbnb agent, go back to Run. And we can see, there we go. Okay, we can see that this most recent email came through from Miss Anita Place to Stay. If I, do Control F remote, let's see if I'll actually show it. There we go. We can see that this email is the one that is indeed about the remote, and it just finished processing. So that's really good. So now what we should be seeing in Miss Anita Place to Stay's inbox is, wow, it just came through. The actual answer to the question. Hi, Anita. Thanks for your message. The TV remote is on the coffee table in the living room. To switch to Roku, press input on the remote and select HDMI 1. And that is actually what I have in my knowledge base. So if I go back to Relevance.ai, go back to the knowledge base. Could it be Airbnb room FAQs? Yep. We can see that is that's the answer I actually inputted into agent.ai. And again, it can handle questions it doesn't know. It's just going to forward them to me. So last thing I want to show you guys is what happens when Anita checks out. So let's go ahead and begin writing our email. Hi, Dorian. Something came up and I had to check out early. Thank you for the incredible stay. Best, Anita. So we're going to go ahead and send that off to... yeah, Agent AI Buddy, go ahead and send it off. Gonna make sure it comes through all right. Okay, great. So the email came through. We can see that she checked out early. And we're going to head back over to Relevance AI. And again, we don't actually have to go back here every time just to make sure, it's working. It's always going to be running, basically as long as something triggers it. But I'm just want to show you and confirm that we know that's actually like in the process of working. So we're going to give it a minute. And if it works, what we should be seeing, or we should see on my end, is my little light turning off. Oh, so we can actually see that it sent an email to the clean team to order the cleaning crew, but it didn't trigger the it didn't trigger the thing for me. Let's see. Okay, so that was actually my bad. I forgot to actually write this line here in the scopes and boundaries, which is why, again, this is a very important thing to write, to fill out. This line did not exist before. So also, whenever checkout email is received, always use the API, the IFTTT API to turn off all electronics. I don't know why that wasn't there earlier, but now it's there. So let's go ahead and try that again. Okay, so this new email says, "Hi Dorian, I apologize that something came up and I had to check out early, but everything's all cleaned up and we're all gone. Thanks for the amazing stay, Anita." So I'm going to go ahead and send that off. So now with the new prompt updated, and hopefully I save the changes just in time, we should hopefully see my lights turn off, as well as the clean team getting an email. So first, we're going to make sure that the email came through. Great. We have the early checkout notice. So now it's already in the queue. And if this works, then we should see my lights turn off. Oh, and there it goes. And if we go ahead and I don't know if you can see behind me, it's a little window, but my lights just turned off. So if we can go ahead back into our agent AI buddy here and go to the sent. Well, I think this is from earlier, but it did, it earlier did send a message to the clean team to schedule cleanup for us. So yeah, it actually took care of the electronics for me after I set the right boundaries. That was on me. And it actually sent an email out to the clean team for us, which is, amazing. Great load off our shoulders. Hey, I hope this was a helpful introduction into agents for you, and I hope you kind of have a better sense of what they can actually be used for. If you guys wanted me to make a tutorial for how to build your own Airbnb agent, or if you guys ever want to work with me in the future, go ahead and shoot me a message on LinkedIn. The link is in the description below. And also, please like and subscribe. Really helps with the channel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the very first episode of Small Business Automated. We have more to come.